Good morning, traders, and welcome to the Bookmap live trading webinar today with JTrader. He'll be in shortly. He's finishing up his trading room. He does offer mentoring and educational services, so you can reach out to him. So we're going to go through some live trading educational services. Exactly how he trades, what he looks at, how he reads order flow, and this is all for stocks. All right, so you guys know who JTrader is. Here's his contact information. I'll put into the chat. I need to go through the disclosures, and then what we're going to do is we're going to dive right into the S&P E-mini, and we'll cover that for about 10 or 15 minutes before JTrader arrives, and then we're going to turn it over to him and do some look at some live analysis and live trading opportunities for large caps and small caps with JTrader's trading strategies. So the general disclosure here: all Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Live trading is in simulation demo paper trading mode and strictly for educational purposes. Live trading executed in simulation cannot accurately represent realistic trading performance. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. An investor could potentially lose all or more than the initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security nor lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in here. The S&P selling off here. Nice strong sell-off here, and let's just zoom out a bit more here. Gapped down and continues to the downside here. All right, looking for high liquidity right here. It's just about to hit it. A lot of selling just coming in right now. Okay, let's just take a look here and see what's getting filled though on the downside. Yeah, okay, so it looks like they're staying in the order book and starting to transact here. A bit of buying, a little bit of a bounce here, but looking for 58 down below. We have 478 contracts down there, and 55 in the figure down here, 44.50. All right, so that's a ways down. It's 11 points away. We can get there in a heartbeat though if we see enough selling in here. The volatility has kind of dried up. I mean, it's not as volatile as it was some months ago. I recall a 10 S&P point move within a minute or two, or maybe even less. I mean, it was just incredible. It was like moving like the DAX. I kind of like it when the S&P is like that. You can really get hurt, but boy, you can make a lot of money as well. So let's just take a step back here, and we're going to go over the no, it's not crypto trading, Drew, today. FOMC later, the meeting minutes at 2. Good morning, Jeff. And the JTrader, sometimes he does trade crypto, I guess. We can take a look or ask, but he's mostly trading small caps and large caps. Okay, so he's always finding something that's moving. If the large cap isn't moving, he's going to trade a small cap. Okay. All right, let's see what's happening here. Okay, we've got the move and an equal low here. I mean, we still stay, to the downside bias here until we see structure broken, and something that tells us differently here in the order flow, and we don't see that yet. Okay, what that might look like or unfold, we go through scenarios here in the order flow. So we'd be looking for buyers back up here around 61.5 or so, and then they can reach maybe 64. Okay, so else it's just stay with the trend here, but we look for the trend shift and change in the order flow, and what that looks like. We go through it all the time. Okay, what this might look like. Anyway, we can see the selling down here. Not so much. We did make a lower low. Structure is still trending lower here. Okay, but everything's starting to kind of slow down a little bit. This is pretty typical around 10 o'clock. So let's see if we can get some buying in here and just get maybe back into a kind of range bound trading here for a bit. We'd look for these buyers to come back up and test kind of the highs of these ranges in here. Not much here, 60, 61 and a half, like we said earlier, and then maybe this 64-ish level right here. Here we go. Let's see if we can get enough buyers in here just to trade up into those areas here. And we're just, slowing down, looking for sideways consolidation or trend continuation here. So we're not quite there yet with the buying, but we're starting to kind of note it here. Okay, the one a couple different factors to take a look at. Number one, look how on the way down large liquidity is getting filled, okay, especially down here. And then we look at is there still more selling at lower lows here? Okay, well, we made a lower low here, but not a whole lot of selling. So that's a change. Okay, that's something to note. Now, if we get down here at 58 3/4 and we start to see a lot of selling, well, then look out. We're looking for it to trade into 58 and then probably down to 55 and then some. Okay, so anyway, that's what we're starting to see in the order flow. We're up at our 61 level. We're looking for a little bit higher here, 61 and a half. But you can see it's starting to test the top of ranges already. Okay, we were looking at this range earlier up here. It kind of made a lower low here or lower high here, but it already tested that area. And let's see if they can get back up here and test it again, and then maybe break out and then trade up into our 61 and a half. And then maybe they can get up into this liquidity up here at these levels. Okay, so let's look for that scenario to unfold and what it looks like. Okay, well, what we're looking for is buyers up here. Okay, green dots, we're looking for a skew in the order book. We covered in detail yesterday the skew in the order book. And understanding that, I can point to that. Let me show you that. If you guys, we have new traders in here. Just want to show you where that is on our YouTube channel. So you can go here to our YouTube channel, it was this one yesterday, how to read the heat map on Bookmap or in Bookmap here. Okay, and the way to read it, now you can see like we didn't get our buyers up here and we rotated lower. We never even really broke the structure that we're looking for. I mean, you can see it kind of tested up here, but it never broke it. Okay, so we're looking for buyers up here and then we're looking for the push. Nothing happened, right? Sellers came in, and where did the sellers really come in? Down here at the low. See them auctioning here? That's when we look for the break. Interesting algo in here. Let's just take a look at this algo in here. Okay, did they get filled? Yeah, they did. They got filled. Okay, so there's someone in here that that bought. Okay, pretty high liquidity in here. And this is typically this is an ignition algo is what it's called, but in this case I don't think it is trying to ignite any sort of stops. I think that they're trying to get filled there and chasing the market because they stayed in the order book and they transacted. Okay, this is a big distinction between that and an algo trying to shift and imbalance the order book and try to get price to go up artificially. Okay, that would be more like a spoof. Okay, so yeah, Bookmap captures all of this kind of activity, even on low time frames or high time frames. You'll see these even on higher time frames. Okay, still stay to the downside, short side until we see something different here. Okay, we just came up and tested where it dropped from here. See, look at this beautiful retest right here to where these sellers initiated that move to the downside. Now this covers a concept in order flow. It's really essential to understand, and this is auction market theory. Let's just make the volume dot size bigger in here. Okay, now we're going to look at a small range in here, but it's really important to understand this dynamic in here. First off, we're still making lower lows in here, even though albeit it's by a tick or two. It doesn't matter. These concepts are scalable. They're fractal. They'll work on higher time frames. Do we see it auctioning up here? No, there's nothing happening up here. There's no trading up here. Okay, we can even look at our volume column over here. There's nothing happening up here. Well, we find sellers in these areas in here, and see it's right in the middle here basically, but then one tick lower it's starting to auction here, so they drop it. There's more sellers, there's more selling pressure, and we get price exploration just for a couple ticks here, and then we kind of retrace back up and go back and forth in here, and then again ask the same question: is it auctioning up here? There's a little bit. Okay, we see a small green dot up there. That's about it though. Most of it's right in the middle here, and there's not too many sellers down here either. Okay, a bit more, and then the best offer comes down, and we do get a transaction down here. So it's starting to auction down here, but at this point, we don't really know. There's not a whole lot auctioning down here. The bias would still be to the downside. And we're just talking about, in fact, we can dim the heat map here. Yesterday we dimmed and took away the volume and just talked about price action and the heat map, okay, or the liquidity, supply and demand. Here we are looking at just volume and price structure. Okay, so now is it starting to auction down here? Yes. Okay, so we're looking for more sellers here, and then we're looking for them to sweep the order book lower here. Okay, and they follow through. Okay, this concept is no different than any of these other time frames basically. Okay, so you can carry that forward into all sorts of time frames here. Good morning, Joseph. All right, guys. Well, we'll have to cover that maybe another time. But understanding where it's auctioning and looking for a drop, and I think we talked about it. I can't recall. Maybe it was in this little area here, and we saw it on a little bit higher time frame. So we were looking for the drop. Okay, so look for that again and again, and you'll start to see follow through typically. All right. So anyway, amazing day shorting big tech stocks. All right, let's turn it right over to Joseph. And guys, I'll get to your questions in YouTube and in Discord there. But we're here for Joseph. We're here to go over stocks and some live trading. So let's do it. And let me jump over here. Joseph, you can share your screen. That'd be great. Oh, I can't hear you, Joseph. Just a minute, guys. We'll get there.
Good morning, Bruce. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Joseph. How are you doing?
Very good. Wonderful week, buddy. How you doing?
Doing well. Doing well. Yeah, it's dreary weather here. Just really dreary, rainy, dark, gray. Yeah, beautiful spring day. Joseph, are you sharing your screen?
Yes, I'm gonna start right now.
Okay.
Okay, let me know, Bruce, if you can view Bookmap and NVIDIA over here.
All right. Yes, I got it.
Okay, so welcome everybody. New lesson over here. Glad to stay again with you and have this wonderful market. So I'm gonna start a few seconds just with a recap of what happened this morning. I think that's important over here to see what was the watch that I was watching, stocks that I was watching, futures, and also Bitcoin. So this morning, watch list over here, yes, had a main support, 44.90. I know that Bruce talks about in pre-market about ES and futures. So I was looking at this main level of demand, now level of supply, basically because on the hourly, you can see that we had dips over here, then we had a dip over here, and then we had this level. This was 45,000, okay? 4,500. And then I was looking for this support over here, 44.40, 44.38. Because you can see over here, a nice demand zone. You can see over here again, demand. And now this is my target. So the plan was very good. It worked once we cracked this level, looking for TP 44.72, which we had in pre-market. And if the market will start fading, we'll be focusing on Apple, Tesla, Nvidia, Baba short. So what we did, I traded Tesla, which is the main one. My average of entry is 1065, and then a recycle, still holding partial short. So Tesla support 1065. Over here, I screen share this, I screen share my execution, I screen share every single piece of the order flow that now we are gonna do review together. So 1065 is this main important support that you can see over here from the previous days. But also this goes back over here and goes even more back at this level over here. Let me share it with you down here. So you can see that in this area, it created also support with the J lines, right? So look at this, J lines and support, right? J line support, J line and rejection. Good. Now, if we look at the last part, it basically the same thing, J lines and support. So already 2 times this level 1065 was in a very important level. Then it's about looking at chart patterns together with the order flow to start looking for a reasonable low risk entry. Yesterday, I traced this trend line, and at the open, we had a big, huge heat map in the 1150. The price went right through it, and then you can see over here, stuff candle, and immediately we have the rejection of that daily resistance. So at that point, I was only looking at 2 main things, 1 minute chart or 5 minute, and then the big levels with the dots. Now, again, over here this morning, I didn't put the dots, but I used them because they gave me confidence in looking for the main absorption and to see when we start having sellers on the tape. This morning, again, you can see that we had a push and right away we start stuffing and fading. So let's review over here. You can see looking for a pattern to short, puts 160, swing 1040. And then over here, we had the Facebook again for the short, Apple again for the short, and also we had Baba trading intraday. Now, looking at this chart, don't look at the first few minutes in the stuff. This is more a little bit more about pro trading, and I prefer to explain this only to, say, advanced traders. Start looking at this stock when we started fading over here, this main daily support. Remember before, we said 1065, right? Okay. Now just go over here, go on volume dots, enable them, just put them smart, all right? And over here we put 3D bubbles in volume delta. Don't keep it very difficult, just take, just do that easy stuff. Just 1 second. Now, close this and you will see your bubbles. What can we do? 1 second. All right. We cancel over here the candlesticks. So look what happens. If you look at this chart over here, traders, right? So we're looking at Tesla in the first 5 minutes, just to give you a clear idea. What it's doing is basically pushing to that high 1078, and then we see more sellers. All right. I don't see over here, for example, huge amount of buyers. If you look at these dots, which represent the orders, we can see that we have the majority of sellers in. Why? It's all magenta over here. And now, even if you see this support, once we break that level of 1065, which is this level over here, which is this daily level, we then start to reject that area, exactly over here. We're going to see at 940 now. Exactly. So look at this. We have the 1065 rejection and J-line over here at 1065. That's a short that I took. That's a short that I took. It's a short I loaded a boat. And my risk was very tight. I was risking $2. And my best cover over here was around 1036. Actually, yeah, 1036 and 50. My best cover. So risking $2 to make over here almost 30 points for a fader. Now, I covered partial along the way where we had this support. You can see over here a pretty big heat map. So I'm not really scared when I see a heat map. But for me, a 1050 was a very important support, also daily, whole round dollar number. And I started to see over here a little bit of fake breakdown and then reclaiming. So good reason to trim some, okay? 1/3 generally is my first exit. And then we started again to unwind. So I re-added over here into this big soak, all right? You see over here, traders, we went exactly to that heat map, 1056, and I said, let's try to re-add partial. So I re-added. So I basically did what we call trade around the core, started a main position over here, scale out partial over here into the 1050, re-added, and then scale out a little bit more over here, and then more over here, and now I'm still holding partial. So what is my strategy over here? My strategy is that I'm using the hourly chart together with Bookmap to spot the main levels where I will see the majority of buyers. So on this chart, where you see the majority of buyers, 1,000, that's key area, right? My target this morning was 1040. Remember the watch that I showed you? Let me take it again. Watch list over here, swing. This is TP, okay? 1040 is the put 1040. Now, we touched that. So now it's like I have to modify my plan because my plan was to trail until that 1040. So what I'm going to do, being that I still have a high average at 1065, recycle 1052, so my average is lower, right? It's not anymore 1065. Right now it's 1056. So that is for, at the worst, my exit. So that if things go wrong, I want to get out that area over there. But all this morning, what was that gave me confidence in holding my trade? This big sell-off. So, Bruce, are you still here, buddy?
Yeah.
Okay, can I ask you, because you see much better than me, what is the main dominant color that you see over here, blue or magenta?
Magenta.
Exactly. And what does it mean that sellers? Huge amount of sellers dumping over here. Because below the 1050, everybody's scared to hold now Tesla. And we have buyers at dip support 1000. That is where traders want to start again a position. Because it's always like that. Traders will look for those 600, 700, 800, 9,000, 900, and 1,000. 1,000 over here is a very important level where in the past we had dip buyer and then we had rejection and then we had dip buyer over here where they consolidated. So that ideally now is my target. Now, I don't know if we will have that. I'm not like Nostradamus over here. I'm just trading what the chart tells me. And I don't give a damn about anything else. Now we're fading and now we have a heat map. So if yes, over here, if yes, now I see it starts to reject, that's a pretty good level where to add. I like this. This for me is an add area. So that 1042, I can add a little bit over here and then I can trail maximum the money. So now my average went down to 1054. Why I'm adding over here? Because I still have a position in the money with ads from 1065 starter, 1052, and now adding over here at 1042, 1043. I always am very careful not to lower my average too much. So this is trading around the core. And basically, if we have the right trade, so the right trend, it maximizes your profit so much. One thing is I enter over here and I exit, I exit, I exit, I exit. All right, over here maybe goes down 20 more points. I have nothing more. One thing is you load, or you take a start and then you add. And then over here, you trim something, you re-add, you trim something, you re-add. Of course, if this goes up, you're gonna trail much before, break even much before this trade over here. But if you're looking for day trading, we're talking about day trading, and we're gonna have another unwind. That 1,000 is possible if the S will continue to unwind. So in this way, all right, trading around the core, so adding, you'll make double or triple of the money that you will make with only one ad. Especially because a lot of traders, this in by mentoring really hundreds of traders during the years, they have generally always a very good entry. Generally, they have a very good timing. But the point is, the exit is not really considered as part of the strategy. Everybody thinks only about taking the trade. Instead, trailing, so the return, the average win versus average loss, that is what will make you very profitable, and I would say a real day trader, a profitable day trader. Because if you enter only and you're only thinking about the stop loss and entry, you're done. You don't know where to go. It's like if I take my right path in my life, but I don't know my goal, where to go. I need a goal. I need a target. I need to know when to get out. So that is the most important thing. Because even if then you have 50% of win rate, by doing like this, you'll be very profitable. Okay. This is the main lesson that today we'll cover. So we're going to look for trailing over here when you are in a position, which I think is very, very, very important. Now, what it's doing over here is basically stuffing, okay? It's true. We see buyers over here at 1044. We have traded over here around 23,000. But I see something very good. We have not a big support until this 1035. So good selling pressure over here. Wall of seller 1045, 1047, 1050 over here. So this, I really like it. And now we're going to simply hold for a possible trendline break and fade. Now you have a trade from, let's say, a high average, and you're still scaling in, scaling out. So recycling basically, okay? Trading around the core. Of course, every 10 points on something like Tesla, you can trim partial if then you're going to re-add. I like to trim 1050, then I did the 1035. So it's good because you're getting paid. So you're always like, I would say, okay, I'm safe. I have no emotion because now if it goes good, good. Otherwise, I stop it in the money. All right. Well, let's continue to see this. So today, Tesla is giving me, for now, around, I don't know, probably 15, 16 hour return. I lost 1 hour this morning. So it's also correct to show the losses. And I lost it over here on ADN. But it was respecting the rules. Generally, I don't short SSR with high volume. I generally took long. This morning, I did long. Yesterday, SBFM, I took almost all day long. But this morning, I shorted over here at this level red that you saw. My average was 280 and 50, something like that, 2.8050. And I stopped it over here, 2.91. That's it. That was my stop. Trying to take the top. It started to fade over here a little bit. I anticipated and then stopped. I didn't re-enter any more long of this. I let it go. And now I give you a tip. High volume. High volume, what is? Anything in a small cap land that is above 1 million per minute. Okay? On a 5-minute chart, you can see the difference over here. You will see bars even of 5 million. Actually, bars in this case even of 8 million. But you can see the first bar is around 3.8, and then we go above 5. So I generally use like 4.5, 5 as a big main volume on 5-minute chart. So when you see that, when you see short sale restriction, you don't have to short it. Unless this goes crazy parabolic, let everybody get being squeezed, and then you can short the pop. Again, it's very hard to do this, okay? It's very hard to have the discipline, but you know, the more losses you will have, the more you will understand how the market works. Market doesn't care about what you think. Okay, let's go back to Tesla. I was also on BABA, and I'm still holding over here my average on BABA. I'm gonna tell right away. I have it over here, 107.91. Why enter on BABA? Simple. So I'm gonna put also BABA up here. Okay, nobody ever thought that BABA would have this big, I would say, bounce. It bounced something like 50% from 75 until 120, 125. And this morning I was not looking at this. Okay, every single day I look at BABA because if you see over here, I mean, it's 3 days, Bruce, that this 118 is fully loaded of big sellers on heat map. So this is really like trading for dummies. Every time that you get 118, you can simply short it. And I didn't short this morning from here. I didn't have the first morning. I didn't have this, and the first morning it really faded. So I have to thank somebody in my room because a buddy alerted me and say, "Oh, possible J-line rejection on BABA." All right. And I said, "Okay, let's take a look at that." Now, look what happened on BABA. All right. So let's take for change a 5-minute chart. We had so the previous low at this 108, right? So always trade the support, important. And then we had the pre-market low traders around over here, almost 108 as well. So we can take this off. We can move this a little bit more down, make it precise. Okay. Now, actually, is this the low? Sorry, 107.81. Now, we had a push in the morning until this 109.50, where we saw before that we have a daily trend line or hourly trend over here. And now we can see that we had another one over here, more than a trend line, is horizontal level. Okay, so we had the resistance over there. Why? We had over here the low. We had over here the low. This is a pretty good level of support. So once I was looking at the 5 minutes, I saw this first morning push, 9:35. And no, sorry. This one over here. This one over here. A friend over here alerted me, get to the 108, and then Bruce, look over here. Look what a push in that high liquidity area. Double top, and then my average is 107.91. I was risking 25 cents over here into the 108 and 16, and then it started to come all the way down. Once we faded the VWAP, so this big sell-off, big red bar, trim something down here, 106 and 30s, and now I'm still holding with a stop. We're exactly just above the J-lines. So look at this pattern, traders, right? This is the big selling pressure that I like to see. And it's not really the heat map alone that tells me to enter short. Put your volume dots and also start looking at the tape in this moment. So you're going to put over here the times and sales, and you want to see the executions that we have in the market over here on this bar. All right. The market is always cyclical. So it will tend to have washes and then pops, washes and pops, washes and pops like this until it reverses. But if we have a trend, I mean, if you look at NVIDIA, Tesla, BABA, Apple this morning, they all do like this. That's a downtrend. So when we have those pops, this is called pop, okay? Then I'm looking to short there. I'm very shorting over here on the breakdown because 90% of the time you will get like faked out. This is at least when you trade against a high manipulation, a high, I would say, professional environment against HFT, and against, I would say, computer machines. Now, this morning, I was seeing some big spoofing and also some algos on LGVN, but right now I'm still holding this position, so I want to focus on this. I'm going to put over here now the volume dots to show you the difference. I'm going to change this. We're gonna change one thing of the volume dots. And we're gonna put over here smart. All right, that's fine. Okay. So what is this, traders? Anybody knows it? You can write in advanced webinar.
That's absorption.
Okay, I know you know it, Bruce. I wanted to see a little bit of traders answering over here. Exactly. So the point is, what is doing over here is not only, Bruce said, very good, but look at one thing. You see over here, somebody's trying to push this up. Somebody is pushing this up. Somebody is pushing this up. And this is the same order. They're just moving over here. All right. And it's a pretty good level where I would, if I would be a market maker or a machine, I would simply have so much fun doing these things because they're like repetitive. So once we go in a downtrend, just above over here, the VWAP, which is this red line, you see it? This is what we call the perfect bull trap. Bull trap in a high liquidity area. So you have, first of all, one player over here. Could be a machine or a big trader, but we have one player. Let's define it like this. We have one big player. So this player is moving. It's the same one. I believe it's the same one. And he knows that traders will start buying where? They're going to start buying probably above over here the VWAP, right? But then at a certain point, there's a fight over here. And this is really where you play the game. So you're not going to take anything over here. You're not going to short, you're not going to long. Because in order to long, and I give you a suggestion, you're going to wait for a big curl above the VWAP and volume coming in. So you're not going to short. Why? Because it's still grinding with a high volume pressure over here. You can see buyers, 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 right? And when we are at 108, there is where it happens, I would say, the fight between supply and demand. So buyers are trying to break this 108 and then push it. But remember that 108 is that pre-market low. This 108 is the previous day low, 3 or 4 days before, ago. And then what we are below the open level. So we have a massive amount of bag holders that will like to sell over here, break even, getting out, I would say, scratch. So this is the mind before the execution. You have to think what the market is doing. You don't have, I see a heat map over here. Let's just short it or let's just long it. It doesn't work like that, the market. You have to think why. If you understand how the market works, so the concepts, then applying strategies is much easier. So it's like, I don't know, you go to the restaurant, you have the cash, that's your technique, that's your strategy, but you don't know what you want. You don't know how it works. You don't know how to have to order. Okay, just like a stupid of my analogies over here, but basically the same thing. You have to know the concept. The concept is, if we are in a downtrend, and if we are, I would say, with amount of overhead resistance, which this resistance is of previous bag holders, because that was the previous lows, and above we know that traders bought the previous days. Once we see over here that bull players are not anymore in control, they are start like curling down and selling, this is done. This is done. Below VWAP, what do you have? People crying, long in tears, and this unwinds. Now, this doesn't mean necessarily we'll go down like 50 points and we'll go back to $50 area. But this means that in that scenario, this is a good reason to short. So what I'm doing over here with Bruce, guys, is not only explaining you, take the short, buy the long. No, it's telling you and explaining you how to day trade, how to use mentality and I would say psychology in trading. Why? If you know this, you will have an edge. So now let's look at Tesla again. remember, we're still in a position. The reason why I'm looking at Tesla, besides, the momentum that we have, Elon Musk, the tweets, the person itself, Tesla is, for me, one of the best products to trade for the given volatility and liquidity that we have on this product. Now, I don't suggest right away everybody starting to purchase options, calls, or puts, because if you don't know how to use these instruments, it's pretty hard. You still don't know the curve of volatility. You still know about the Greeks. You still don't know about the time decay. I would say that influence so much the premium over here, the price, and you need a little bit of, I would say, time to trade options. And why I say option, because of course Tesla not, I would say, for everybody, it's $1,000 per share. Option you can pay like 20, 30, $10, depends. I mean, from the day of the week as well, and the strike. Now we see over here some consolidation. Okay, look, remember what I said before. I'm not shorting dips. I'm not shorting down here. I'm not buying puts down here. I'm buying pops. And what I'm doing over here is looking at the S for inflection points to start getting a feeler on Tesla. Now, Tesla is still bouncing. Yes, it's still bouncing. So I'm still waiting for some fills over here. Remember, I added 1042. I'm risking now in the money. This is my guide, J-lines over here. And if I see now the chart, nothing really interesting me so much. I just know that 1045, below that main dollar here at 1050, I have so many sellers. Took a couple of time, big absorption, reason to stay in. Jay, what time do you do your VWAP session start from 9:30 early? Razor, you mean on Bookmap or over here on my chart? I don't use it on the 1 minute to 5 minutes. I have other chart that I use it. Personally, I use it from the pre-market, buddy. Because I like to see also how it works in pre-market. So for me, it's very important, being that I trade also pre-market. Okay, I don't trade generally big caps and mid caps in pre-market, but I do on small caps or in futures. Okay, Baba is a bounce right now. Exactly. Tesla is pretty active, especially on gap days. So in this market, I would say it's a very good product. Tesla sometimes have a little bit more spread than usual, so be careful on those days. So if you have question, traders like Razor or Tapish, you can write over here in the advanced webinar. Okay, we're gonna answer everybody. So reclaim over here the J-lines. Let it go. Don't short yet. And again, this is my trading. Don't trade right now. Just follow what I'm doing. But I'm not adding to my position because yes, it's still bouncing. So it's still grinding. We're going to put back also our candlesticks. All right. Generally use the 1 minute candlesticks. So the previous resistance over here, 107, 107.80, 108. You can see it's having a little bit more momentum. It's curling essentially on the J lines. But the good part of this, and we're going to see if yes will reverse. The good part of this is that we're still below this main support. Okay, this 108. I like this area. If we stay below that 108, we still have possibility of this to fade. Now it's getting near to my break even. I have trailing the money, the 107s over here and 70s. And this is on the 1 minute. Let's see if we will reject that level or not. Yes, good morning, Ryan. We had LGVN, SBFM, MOBQ, beautiful J-line rejection. And also we had ADN. Okay, first selling pressure over here. You can see this seller at the 107.70s. So I'm out for now. Let's check again Tesla. You're welcome, buddy. All right, so that 1050 is where I'm looking to re-add to my position. So remember, we opened a short 1065, alerted traders share in the room, was in watch list. We re-add over here 1052. I cover over here a big portion of the 1035s, actually 1036 and 50s. I read over here partial 1042 in this consolidation. Now I'm looking at ES. If we're gonna start fading, for now ES is grinding. Or on a stop for 1050, I can re-add short. Okay, so I'm looking at those levels. Wait for your levels, don't anticipate over here.
Joseph, do you want to take, there's been requests to look at some cryptocurrencies?
Yes, but I don't have it over here on Bookmap. I use it on the other Bookmap on my
Okay.
other computer, Bruce.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get you set up with the multi-book product and everything. You can look at 5 different exchanges within one cryptocurrency.
Okay, that would be fantastic. I always run it over here. We can do even a lesson on that, traders, as I use Kraken, KuCoin. Now, I don't want to really, I use different brokers for Bitcoin and also for cryptocurrencies. So if you want to do a lesson, just let Bruce know. We can set up that. All right, push to the 1048, 1050. Yes, it's still grinding. Previous resistance over here, 1066, 4466, 4467 on ES. So this is what I'm watching, this previous resistance, right? Let's wait over here on Tesla. We have all time, so let's not anticipate over here a trade. Let's see how it reacts at 1050. What I'm basically waiting is this. So you see yesterday, this was what we had on Tesla yesterday. This was a, I would say, a multi-R trade short. Pattern over here didn't work, stop. I go short, and over here, a killer one. So very systematic trading strategy. So first rejection over here that you can see traders on yes. Tesla still grinding. Limit orders on the ask at 1049, risking that 1050 for adding to my position. So this is not a new short that I'm taking. Remember, 1065 came out partial, got out partial, 1052 and 1042 my ads. So I'm still in the money. So I'm adding over here partial if I'm getting filled 1049, not yet. If I'm not getting filled, that's fine. But I just don't wanna enter down here 1040. I wanna try to get over here. So I'm looking for this area over here to have some fills. All right. We still didn't have a trend line break, so still the pattern could go even above 1050 and then fail down. Now let's see this ES point. You can see that for now we have seller, but not massive sellers. You can still push above. So I cancel my order from 1049s. As I see, still popping. Those topics are J lines. I use different set of J lines, and it's a strategy together with the J lines. There are many chart patterns, so J lines alone. Just these two are 7289. But again, if you want to learn more, then you have to take our trading course in the room and learn how you trade that. So spot over here, traders, again, the 1049, 1050, we still have some resistance. But I'm still waiting over here, still an uptrend, okay? So I'm not anticipating the short. Or a stuff 1050, view up is just above 51 and 50. Or I'm simply waiting, and I will be waiting for a pattern like a trendline break. You can do like this. So ideally, we're going to have a nice pattern down here with a 1045 breakdown, and looking for this to unwind, okay? So rejection of Apple. So yes, seam over here rejecting. So adding a little bit over here, 1046 and 20s. So adding a short 1046 and 20s. Always risking in the money. Now my risk is this 50s. Okay, so playing over here. I like yes. Nice breakdown on this trend line. Now next target is this 1041. 2 minutes and 20 seconds, 2 minutes and seconds to the next completion of this 5-minute chart bar. At the same time, we have NVIDIA fading. So very good move in NVIDIA, and we had also Apple fading. Good breakdown over here on ES. Let's see for more unwind. I'm turning this on multiple brokers. I don't see for now any big buyer. A tip that I give you, that I would say I like to give you, is beside having the current order book, try to have over here, traders, even times and sales. Okay, we spoke about this more than once, and also I said how to filter it. For now, we're gonna keep it like this in default. I like this new level of resistance over here. So in this case, I have my ad at 146, and we took 146 and 40s, even better. And my average is in the 1050s. So Ray's over here is asking, with the Tesla options, are you doing weeklies for puts? How do you deal with the spread? Two ways. One in the swing. So I have a trading strategy for swing that is actually paying me this year a 71% win rate. and a profitable curve. And in that way, I only look at monthly options. So let's say I'm looking for that 1,000 on Tesla. Today, when I have my start of my position, I start buying 1 month or even more sometimes, because I look for fodder, I would say, strikes or 990, 1,000. I start looking for monthly options. So more out on the money. Okay. When I'm trading, day trading, so I like a position like today on Tesla or Nvidia, whatever that is, I look for weekly options. And I generally stay with the first out of the money or the first in the money or maximum two in the money or two out of the money. It really depends on the spread that I see, the volatility and the liquidity. So for example, you never want to trade options in liquid, because it will be you and the market maker. And guess who will win? The market maker. So unless some very big move, but in chop, in sideways, he will destroy you. So no, don't try to trade on liquid options for day trading, especially when you are in a sideways action. Market will kill you. All right. So you see the green that you see over here, right? You can get scared, but you have to stay with your plan. The plan over here is still that we're trading possible, okay? So we have a very low risk. We're trading a possible rejection. I'm looking for this possible trendline break. So my trail for everything is exactly where you see over here, the level 1049.80. That is what I'm risking right now. So new relative lows right now on ES. Breakdown incoming of this support. So I don't see any kind of big buyers over here. Only 100 shares, 200 shares. So watching for this 1043 per done breakdown. In the meantime, I don't know if somebody traded Nvidia. Nice J line rejection. So working very, very good Nvidia over here. I missed this trade. Apple working good as well. Baba, instead, I'm over there. And that's my risk, 107.80s. So if the market will continue to unwind, we're going to stay more with Tesla and recycle Tesla over here. Still holding this 1043 and 60. Let's see if we can get this uptrend line, at least 1042, right? Before we can get a little bit of trailing. There we are. Beautiful. A little bit more unwind below the 50s. So set limits over here. So covering partial at 1042.50s and 1042s. Okay. So getting filled. So we got the position over here adding to our position 1046 and 40s. Scaling out 1042. Now we're still holding the core and partial from the 1051's average from before. Now my goal is to not cover anymore. At least I want to see this 1032. Otherwise, stopping in the money. All right. So we try to lower over here our trailing. It's very easy, right? Once the trade works, let it work. Don't cut it. Don't get out right away from your trading. A lot of traders are not profitable for that. They take a full loss and they take a very small partial win. It requires patience. Okay? You cannot have everything too soon. So you have to have patience a little bit, trader. Okay, now at this level, you can see that we have no big heat maps above formed. So we have it only at 1046, 7, 758, 48. I want these sellers to jump lower. So create like a cushion for me. Especially at this 1045, I want to see a seller over here, okay? New lows Apple. Bounce from this trend line. Bounce also over here on ES. Some soak at 1045. Now, one thing. Remember, we already took a profit, 1042. So think around now. Are you getting scared because it's bouncing? No. I always think and consider bounces like a possibility, if the trend is in my favor, to re-add to a position. Not like, oh, I'm getting out. And because if I would have done that, I would be out already at 1055 before. Instead, we treated each pop in a downtrend like a good level to re-enter at a better price. Mentality, traders, know what you're doing.
So Joseph, you when you scale into a position, are you treating each new position like a totally new separate trade?
It depends, Bruce. It really depends from the product. But in this case, I can tell you that recycling and out. So Tesla, being that already took so much profit, so I can consider my day already done, even if I'm still holding partial. I'm using just like in the money trail, one trail, that's it. So I'm not really, risking for 100 shares, let's say 1045, 200 shares, 1047, 200 shares, 1051. No, I'm risking only one trail in the money.
Okay.
But it's not wrong to, I would say, to scale out if something goes against you in partial. Let's say getting out at 1047 still in the money, and then the remaining, for example, 1051. That's also a very good way to do it. It really depends from the product and from the trade that I had that day. Generally, I prefer to scale out, just like what you were saying, in partials, even if something, let's say, goes against me and I'm trailing in the money, okay? Because it's like scaling in and scaling out. So the trade is in your favor, your adding goes down. The trade goes against you, scale out, and then you can re-add. So always, of course, scaling out as well. So taking partials, right, when it's working as well. So let's look at long there.
Yeah.
ADN.
As well.
Nice long there.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna switch 1 second to ADN because some traders over here messaged me. And so I'm gonna put 1 second yes on the side. We're gonna put 1 second Tesla on the side. And some traders took a long. So everybody over here that knows how I take longs, this is the long setup I had this morning. This is the long setup that I had this morning. I mean, Bruce knows better than me. Big dip, fake breakdown, view up J lines. Load your F both, right, Bruce? So nothing better than this. This we already like explained hundreds of times, I think, in these webinars. You can see over here that there's somebody between 66 and 68 who wants to create a support. So let's see if he's really there or spoofing. For now, seems like he's holding this dip. So he's really like live there. Reason to buy partial over here in the 69, just risking 68, like 1 or 2 cents. But the main level of here of buying, we had over here down at 334. I love this pattern of volatility contraction. You can see over here, traders, bull flag, this one. And then right away, we started like having this massive over here bar. So let's check. I like the fact my bear looks at this stuff a lot. Yes, massive buyers getting in. So let's give a little bit more volume dots, colors, settings, transparency over here. Yeah, beautiful. So you can see where the buyers came. Bruce, where the buyers came over here?
Right where the blue dots really pick up.
Exactly. That's a beautiful mid-morning breakout pattern. But again, having Bookmap over here, traders, doesn't give you the false signal. That's my point. Often, and I'm going to show you an example, you buy over here a breakout, right? You look at this high, you trace your trend line over here, or horizontal trend line, you buy over here. And now look at this, right? Look at SBFM. Yesterday, I was looking at that. I was explaining this. You buy the breakout. So where I'm pointing, right? You buy the breakout over here, you're getting stuff. You buy the breakout, boom, getting stuff. Breakout stuff. You buy over here the breakout, boom, stuffed. Instead, what I did yesterday with Bookmap, recorded, shared in the room. We bought here, we sold all these pops. I shorted over here, and then we took the massive fader. The same thing over here with Bookmap. You can reasonably take these longs with a very low risk because you're not really buying the breakout that often can be a fake out. That's why the reason of who follow alerts will buy over here and who follow alerts will 99% lose money. And I'm very sorry to see this because traders are treated often like sheeps. Instead, they're like intelligent people that just need to be guided good. And this is what we do. We try to do over here in Bookmap these lessons. So we try to educate traders to become smarter and better. So when you see this massive buyers, this is where you have to long. This is where I long. This is where my members long. We're not waiting up here to buy the 375 breakout and then what maybe goes all the way down. So we're buying this big income of volume. And why I'm telling you this? For the same reason that I told you to short 1046. And over here I shorted 1046 and now we are at 1039. I'm sharing these trades over here with you in the Bookmap and in my room. That's the reason how you make money, how you become a profitable trader, how you make 5 figures in a day. Now let's go back to Tesla. So now we are below the trend line, okay, all right? And there's no reason why I should cover over here, unless of having FOMO to get out. There's no reason. So what we said before, look for our targets. Once we will break the 1032, eventually, if we're going to break the 1032, always say that, we're going to look for that 1000, right? Seems some pretentious over here, but that's my level of consolidation that I'm looking at. And yes, of course, I will look at that 1000. Also, I saw before over here on Bookmap, we have some very good level of support 1000, 40,000 over here. I would say already displayed over here of buyers.
Joseph, I love the way that you have an added bonus. I mean, the way you filter for your stocks and look for the setups, but also your trading room. You you have, well, first off, you have Mama Bear right there. You have your wife. You have everyone in your trading room. With possible alerts on this or that or seeing something, and that's a nice edge.
Thank you, Bruce. I would say that the group and environment can really help so much a person becoming a real trader, a better trader. And I've seen this over and over and over. Now, you know me from a long time. And a lot of traders are having difficulties because there's a lot of information. While I think that things should be always remain pretty simple. The more simple they are, I would say the more profitable they are as well, and the more most effective. So just reading the chart and understanding the confluence of few things together could be, in this case, the order flow, could be our previous resistance, could be a J line. And then you have already a setup. Of course, you need to make a watch list to scan, to know which stocks or which future or which cryptocurrencies to, I would say, to focus on. But it's all part of the strategy itself. So you need like 360 degrees, I would say, approach when you're trading. Now traders, look what happened over here. So we have the 1038 support, and we have 2 or 3 small buyers coming in the 60s, the 39s, 3920s, and now they're starting to make it bounce, right? So now you will get scared probably. Let's say you're short over here with us at 1046. You will get scared because you see, oh, buyers, let me cover everything. And then this is another massive drop. Maybe tonight we close at 980, all right? Or maybe it goes even 1060, we don't know. But let's say that for now, this is gonna fade. You're gonna really regret, okay? So once you take that partial, let it work. Put your trailing in the money. Right now, what is my trailing? 1045. I mean, why not making it run? We have a big heat map over there. That's a previous support, whole round dollar number. There's no reason over here to cover more, okay? Unless you're scalping, all right? And we're gonna make another webinar with Bruce, only on scalping. So one day we'll come here, we'll scalp, all right? It's totally another way. Now we're day trading, okay? Not swinging, not scalping, we're day trading. This is day trading. So our position over here can last even the whole day short if the market will continue to unwind.
Yep, good stuff, Joseph.
Thank you, Bruce. So we have buyers, but look at these bars over here. Bars that are not like, I would say, followed by anybody else. That's the reason why we have these spikes. So these spikes means that when the bar pushes, then somebody's selling over here. And now we have a seller 1042. So also, yes, it's bouncing. We have something like a double bottom, but we're still in downtrend, still lower lows and lower highs. No reason for me to cover. Remember today we had the FOMC and at 2 p.m. I believe it was 2 p.m., right, traders?
Yeah, East Coast time, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, way to stick with your trade, Joseph. Really, really nicely said.
Exactly. As Bruce said, reset. Because over here we went above, you can see. And the confidence over here, besides having still a pattern downtrend on ES, and there we are, is the fact that we had a lot of seller over here in these spikes. And the buyers are not supported. And now the seller joins and the seller joins, and then boom, new lows. New lows over here. New lows. There we are, new lows over here. Looking for the 1032. So now it's bear flag, nice bear flag, sorry. Again, trader told me, can I learn everything that you know, Jay, in 1 month? I was saying 1 week. Traders, it takes a lot of time. And I'm just gonna tell you one thing. If you think that you do trading, you want to do trading for the money, you're gonna lose. You have to do trading because you love the market, you love the stocks, you love to see, this big explosion of volume, you love the charts, you love this environment. Money then will come. Don't only look for something for the money, okay? Look because you have passion, you have love for this. Let's look over here, 1037. Now, for the guys or gals over here that are following us, first of all, thank you for the attention to day traders. I would like that you tell me, where would you take profit over here if you would take profit? Please, everybody try to answer this. Don't be ashamed to do error. Nobody does errors over here. They're opinions, all right? I would take profit 1033 tappers. I would take just above that low. 1035, 1035. Okay, 1035 maybe because it's a whole round dollar number, traders. All your answers are correct. There's no wrong answer because you're taking a trade right now in the money and you're basically trailing, so taking partials out. The 1035 is a very big support. I totally agree. And for me, what I said before is, all right, take a partial at every $10 if you trade over here Tesla. Like I took it over here at 1035, actually 1036 and 50 before, and over here was at 1050s. And I believe I took even, let me see, I posted a chart before. I took it at 1050s, 1036 and 50s, and 1050s. Yeah, every $10 you can take a partial, so that I will use the 1035s. It's fine, buddy, taking that low at a low of day, basically. But I mean, we have some big structure over here support, these 1035s. So I would put myself over here in the bid in a 1035, 1036 for partial. And recycle again more if we have pops, and then looking for this 1000 if we have maybe a destruction of the day on ES. Also, ES is bouncing, so for me this 1036 is pretty good. But it's not the wrong idea, okay? It's not the wrong idea over here to take to look for the 1032. All right, it's not the wrong idea. I'm gonna do like this, traders. So I'm gonna put configuration settings. All right, just wanna watch him like this. Okay. Bounce from that support. We have a double bottom on ES. So let's check ES over here. Yeah, nice double bottom. We're still in a downtrend. We're still making lower highs and lower lows. No reason to panic and get out everything. So if, for example, you're short this morning, yes, use this trailing for the, let's say, half and half. This is the intraday support right now, 44.55. I was looking more for 44.50, the whole round dollar number, but it is what it is. So good partial over here that we took on Tesla at that 1036. All right, guys, last few minutes together. It's already a lot of hours I'm over here because I also trade pre-market, and this morning I trade also the European market. So already 8 hours or 9 hours I'm here. Any questions?
I think we're all caught up on the YouTube. And Barboza is asking about waiting for the low volume node. Would be asking too much.
Oh yeah, we covered
yeah,
that.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you went over that.
Let's see over here. Bruce will give you the links, buddy.
Yeah, we had a poll.
You won't get disappointed. It is what we show. Okay, push to the J-lines traders. So now the trailing over here, as we said before, is gonna be this above 1045, and also yes is pushing strong. So 1045 plus, we're gonna trail. Remember, we have ads at 1046. You're welcome. So that 1045 above, we're gonna trail a little bit more, and then we're gonna trail the rest, as we said, at this level over here, 1049.80, 1049.80. It's still not a reversal. It's still not for me, the reason over here to cover everything and then to start for a long pattern. I took on one account a counter trend trade. I have to say this, but it was for a double bottom over here. So I long partial over here, 1036 and 60s, but it's a small trade and not on my, I would say, main account, just a small counter trend trade. And in this case, I don't alert these because they're not part of the strategy itself. It's just what I saw over here, which is this fake breakdown, didn't come to 35. So long partial over here on the reclaim of this previous low. Often, these are the fake breakdowns that you will see in the market. So this you can have on VWAP, you can have on the previous support. You have a fake breakdown, right away you have an engulfing pattern over here, boom, pushes all the way up.
It's a pizza money trade, right?
Yeah, but without mushrooms.
Just a margarita.
Yeah, only based in margarita. Bruce, you remember the Italian times?
Oh yeah.
pizza in the world.
Oh yeah, food and coffee. I will not forget that.
Traders, one good, I would say, one good reason to stay in the trade, rejection of that previous support, now resistance. And you can see also over here, NVIDIA starting again the unwind. Beautiful, all right? So I didn't trade NVIDIA. I had a morning trade and very small win, but all these 1, 2, 3, good reason to short. Also in the 1 minute, they were pretty good. And it's basically about yesterday, the first fill that we had at 271 that we are unwinding with very low risk entries. All right, guys. So I think we're done for the day. Thank you, Bruce, again, being amazing over here, holding these webinars. Thank you, everybody. We'd like to say thanks for who also follow us today. Thank you for YouTube. And see you next time, traders. Always reach out to Bruce anytime. 24/7 is available. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Joseph.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye bye.